Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Avengers: Age of Ultron.
There are no strings on me.
Didn't we all love the Avengers? Well, if our dollars spent have anything to say, we most certainly did. And I think we were all hotly anticipating for Age of Ultrons to hit theaters. And I am happy to say that it does not disappoint. I loved this movie. So let's just jump into the heroic feats that saved the day in Age of Ultron. The full cast is back in action here, and they are all great. They still have a great camaraderie about them, and we start to see some of the seeds for Civil War and so on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that was also really exciting that the characters brought it out. The writing was there, but the actors delivered. Robert Downey Jr. delivered on his end as the funny comedic relief in Tony Stark, as well as the dramatic heft that Stark's character has been asked to deliver in the last couple of films. Chris Evans was still pretty boy, stoic, the good all-American guy as Captain America. Thor was given a lot of comedy, and Chris Hemsworth was there to deliver. I thought this might have been my favorite outing as him playing Thor. Scarlett Johansson continued to develop Black Widow, bring her into the hearts of America, and put the only female Avenger, or is she, on the map. And Mark Ruffalo brings what I argue is the most successful Hulk to the big screen yet. He just has so much humanity as Dr. Banner, and then the CGI effects for him as Hulk and the motion capture there is stunning. It's amazing. And guess what? Hawkeye is not forgotten in this film. So if you're a Hawkeye fan, rejoice. And Jeremy Renner was there to take the part on his shoulders and deliver. We also have the newbies here. James Spader, fantastic. Ultron's going to get his own little segment in a second, but he was fantastic as the voice of Ultron. And I actually thought Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen were also really good. Sometimes those accents, not so good, but they really brought their characters to life. They made you care about them. They made you be invested in what it was that these two new little twins were doing running around the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, of course, we get Paul Bettany as Vision. I would have liked a little bit more from Vision's character, if I'm being honest. But I thought he was cool. I thought Jarvis was cool. The whole thing was cool. Needed to be explained just a little bit better. But So now let's jump back to that guy who, has his name in the title, Ultron. Best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet. And he is a straight up villain. Loki is great, but he serves more as an anti-hero to me. So Ultron finally delivers what fans want. He was menacing. He provided real viable threats to our heroes, and he was just bad. He thought he was doing the right thing. He was out for a right purpose. He was intimidating. He was fearsome. I loved Ultron, and I think the entire success on this film counted on James Spader and the team and the writers to deliver when it came to Ultron, and they did. On a broader scope, we have fantastic action pieces here. The best in Marvel movie history. We start off right in the thick of action. I love the new inventive ways they're making people work as a team. Thor and Captain America in particular really use Mjolnir and his shield to good use. Black Widow gets in on some of that shield action, and then her and the Hulk are getting in on some combat action, and of course her and Hawkeye back together. But there's a lot of teamwork, a lot of really inventive use of their weapons. But we had the opening sequence. The Hulk Buster sequence does not disappoint. It is awesome. And then the climactic scene, wonderful. Just all of the action. Whenever we have action in this film, it's hard-hitting and it just keeps you enthralled. It's fun. It's wonderful. This film also did a lot to expand the universe on Earth. If you are a fan of Marvel Comics, you'll love that we are finally heading to Africa. We don't quite get the scene of the superhero I was hoping to see when we headed on over to Africa. But we head there nonetheless. We're given more expansion into the characters to come. And the characters we know are expanded. They all have their own storyline that help further flesh out their characters. I would say probably Thor and Captain America have the least amount, but through these very cool sequences that I won't give too much away, our characters are exposed on the screen in front of us, so we see a little bit more into what they're thinking, what they're feeling. But the film, unfortunately, is not flawless. So let's talk about what we could have done a little bit better. I'm gonna admit it, while I loved Age of Ultron, it lacked the certain amount of magic that the original Avengers had. Something just overall seemed to be missing this time around. I'm not sure if it's because we've seen them here before and the first Avengers was literally the assembling of the Avengers. But something was just a little bit amiss to me. One of the reasons I believe that is the pacing was a little off. So we had these wonderful, big, bombastic action sequences, and then we would go a really long stretch in the middle of the movie where it is just dialogue. They're trying to do character development, we're being introduced to things, and it just felt to really drag right there. You were kind of counting down the seconds until we got to that next action set piece, or something significant that moved our story to its next place. And while I thought we dragged in places, I think the rise of Ultron went like that. We weren't given the character development, we weren't given the science behind it all. Suddenly, we're here, and Ultron has materialized. I thought they definitely could have handled his rise much better. And our heroes go off in these weird little side tangents and places sometimes, and we really have no clue why, or why we're showing up at places. I think they just wanted to stuff people in at points, oh, familiar face, that they got carried away with running around doing nothing. Especially a part with Thor that I was really confused by, and it seemed to kind of have no place in there, and they just shoved it in to get to another means. It was purely a plot device, you could tell it was a plot device, and it was a little bit disappointing. And yet, while this movie has a lot of characters, I thought the reason that the ladies weren't sitting at the table was lame. I'm at least glad that somebody brought like the awkward elephant up, because we were all thinking it. Hey Tony, where's Pepper? Hey Thor, we haven't seen Jane in a while. What does she do when you go on these missions? Why does she disappear when the Avengers assemble? And the reasons they gave were pretty lame. They made for a good punchline though in the end for Thor, but pretty lame. But overall, I can't complain. I had a blast at Age of Ultron. It is jam-packed full of action. It has the characters we love. There's new romances, and new friendships. We have new people added into our team, and maybe someone taken out of the team? You'll have to go and see. And I definitely recommend you see this on the biggest, coolest, loudest screen possible. So go out and watch it. So, that has been my review of Avengers Age of Ultron. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, who is your favorite Avenger and why? Let me know in the comments down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!